Welcome to your CELPIP class. Before we get started to your test preparation process, I'd like to walk you through an overview of the CELPIP exams. There are two versions of the CELPIP test, the CELPIP General and the CELPIP LS. What is the difference? The CELPIP General is primarily intended for people who wish to immigrate to Canada and are applying for permanent residency or PR. What is CELPIP LS? These exams is primarily intended for people who are applying for Canadian citizenship. So maybe in the long run, you would have to take CELPIP LS again. I have to say that LS stands for listening and speaking. This means that in the CELPIP LS, you will be assessed only on your listening and speaking. However, in the CELPIP General, you will be assessed on 4 aspects of the English language: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So for many of you, you will be taking the CELPIP General. Now, let's talk about the format of the test. CELPIP is 100% Canadian designed, which means it only uses the North American accent and vocabulary in verbal instructions. So unlike any other test, you're not going to hear the accent that are commonly used in Britain or Australia. It's only North American accent. And if you ask me, this is a plus because the North American accent is actually a lot easier to understand. The CELPIP is also 100% computer delivered, which means you have to complete the entire test using the computer. Both the listening, reading, writing, and speaking, even the speaking, all has to be done in the computer. Now, whenever test takers hear computer delivered, they often worry. I don't have knowledge about the computer. I don't know how to use the computer. I never went to computer school. Do you really need to be an expert in using computer for you to take the CELPIP exams? No way. Trust me, you really don't have to worry so much. The only area you have to really be concerned about is your writing aspect. This is because you're required to type and the writing test is timed. So if you don't understand the keyboard or you don't know how to type, you may struggle to complete the test within the allotted time. So my advice is from today, start your practices, do all your practices using the computer or the laptop or the desktop, or basically all the same thing. Use them for your writing. That way you start getting familiar with the keyboard, you start timing yourself to know if you're making any progress and all of that. So yes, everything is computer delivered. But for the listening, reading, and speaking, you really don't have to worry because all you're doing is clicking on next, 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 and next. So you don't need to have any specialized knowledge of the computer for you to be able to do this. So long as you're fairly familiar with it, of course, we will have phones, we'll have smartphones, which is kind of similar, except the keyboard and all of that. So you're good to go. The test is divided into 4 sections: the listening, reading, writing, and speaking. You're going to start with the listening. Now for the listening section, it takes about 47 to 55 minutes. And the reading section takes about 55 to 60 minutes. So for reading and listening, you have to read and listen on a variety of subjects. It could be anything. It could be about food, it could be about community, it could be about work. Literally, it could be about anything. But the good thing is it's about every day-to-day life, every day-to-day matter. There's nothing strange, there's nothing academic or nothing about business English. It's all about day-to-day life. Actually, the intention of the CELPIP exams is to make sure that you are able to integrate into the Canadian system. You'll be able to apply for a job, join groups, order food at a restaurant, get your way around, just everything needed to get life done on a daily basis. That's all the CELPIP is testing you on. So do not be afraid. You're not going to be asked to write academic essays or anything out of the ordinary. It's really about every day-to-day life. Now, what about the writing and speaking sections? You will be provided with various situations that require you to produce language. For the writing, you have 2 tasks. One is an email, the other is a survey, and trust me, it's really about every day-to-day life, every day-to-day matter. It's nothing out of the ordinary. And for the listening, you have 8 tasks. Again, it's all about every day-to-day matter, like advise a friend who wants to move to a new apartment, or your friend is shopping, is just moved to an area and is advice on which grocery stores are good and which ones aren't good. It's really all about that, so you don't have to worry so much.
So long as you're fairly good with the English language, you're good to go. So I think that this is all we have to talk about, the overview of the CELPIP test. In the next video, we'll walk you through an overview of the writing test and the marking criteria standard before we officially start your class. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.